Hi, I'm John Blankenship, and in the next few moments, I'd like to give you some information that I believe can change your financial future. I'm going to do so in a totally different approach than you've probably seen in the past. So I hope you stick with me. I'm going to try to make it worth your time. You see, the problem with most people today, most young people especially, is that they don't understand how to evaluate the consequences of their actions. They don't realize how important it is to make good decisions at this age. So let's look at some examples and kind of demonstrate what I mean. For example, if you started saving right after graduation, $6 a month until you retired, how much do you think you would have? For each $6, it actually gives you about $70,000 if that's properly invested. That's an amazing thing. That means if you did about $100 a month, multiply it out, you would have $1 million or more by the time you were 65. That's an amazing feat. But there's many, many options. For example, instead of saving $6 every month, assume for a moment that right after graduation you decided to live at home for 1 year and save every penny that you would normally spend on rent and utilities. Let's assume that that was about $1,000 a month, and you did it for 1 year. A total of $12,000. And then you spent every penny for the rest of your life. If you left that money grow until you were 65, that too would give you $1 million. Now this is an amazing thing. Compare both of these things. In one case, you're giving up a very small amount of money, a relatively small amount of money, $100 a month, over your entire life. In the other case, you're giving up a lot, $1,000 a month, but only for 12 months, for 1 short year. In both cases, you end up with $1 million. Now this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. How can you make intelligent choices about what you should do in life if you have no idea of what the consequences are of each of those choices? It's like you got to compare apples and apples. If you don't do that, there is just no way that you can compare the results of the two items. Now, only you can make these choices. Most financial books tell you that, this is what you should do. I don't believe that's the best way. They don't know who you are. They don't know your dreams, your goals. How can they possibly tell you what's right for you? I think a better way is to teach you how to make your own choices, to teach you how to predict the consequences, the ramifications of the decisions you make. If you can do that, then you can make the choices that feel right to you. And when a choice feels right, you have a much greater chance of actually sticking with what you're going to do. Let's look at a couple more examples. Suppose I ask you to either give up $150 a month for 5 years or $75 a month for 10 years. Now that sounds like the same thing. $150 for 5 or $75 for 10. You're actually saving the same amount of money. But one of those ways will net you $150,000 more at retirement. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to predict the consequences of those actions? All right, let's look at another example. We've already stated that if you save just $100 a month starting when you graduate until you retire, that you could have $1 million in your account. Now that's a great thing, but let's look at some other options. I wonder what the consequences would be if you waited until you were 30 instead of 20 to start saving that $100 a month. Well, the answer will probably surprise you. Instead of having $1 million in your account, that decision would cost you $600,000. Yes, you would only have about $400,000 in your account. Now that sounds like a lot of money, but if you can have $1 million, you got to decide if it's worth it. Now, it may not be worth it to you. Only you can make that decision. But think about it. If you know that it's going to cost you $600,000, you can weigh that against the sacrifices you would have to make in order to be able to save that $100 starting at age 20 instead of age 30. But that's the point. You can't make intelligent decisions in life if you don't know the consequences of the decisions you have to make. Well, I hope these examples have helped you understand a little bit about the financial future and the financial choices you have to make. I've written a book called Consequences. This book is not intimidating. It just talks to you the way I am. It tells you about different options and how to predict their consequences, even provides some free software that allows you to predict the future for saving now or then or a little bit, a lot, all the different options. You can see this book and read the preface and sample chapter at consequencesthebook.com. Or you can go to Amazon.com. There's a link in the consequencesthebook.com webpage. And it'll allow you to even read more of the book. And then you can order the book for you or perhaps someone you know, a grandchild maybe, if you think it would be worthwhile. At the very least, you'll be able to read some of the passages and learn a little bit and make better choices for your life, even if you never buy the book. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps you think about your financial future in ways that you haven't in the past. Good luck. I wish you the best.